Judith, you were saying for a working class migrant girl to take up a career at the bar, that was quite bizarre, to use your words. Why do you say bizarre?
I thought going to the bar and being a lawyer, particularly becoming a barrister, would be a fascinating and interesting career, and that I would have the opportunity to do something for the people that I knew in my life, who were largely people without education or money or status. And so I made this decision. It was only later I realised that it was pretty bizarre, in the sense that it was clearly, if you like, in inverted commas, not the done thing. And it was a leap into the dark, but in a large way, it came off to a certain extent.
What was the atmosphere at the bar like at the time for a young woman in your position?
I think it was either patronising or it was you were something of a novelty and therefore a little of a fair game. Fair game when you went to lunch in the Esselring Club, fair game when you went to the dinners and things that barristers had. And, you know, by and large, people I knew were good to me, but there were times when I thought the patronising was just totally over the top.
Do you recall any judges or people that you appeared before who created a vivid impression on you, bad or good?
Yes. Early on it was the judges in the Supreme Court who did family law, and there was one judge in particular who had an excellent reputation and knew his stuff. That was Esler Barber. There was another judge, and I remember once appearing in front of him, and I had in those days quite long hair, and it wasn't the done thing to allow yourself to be seen really as a woman. So all hair had to be pinned up behind, under your wig. And as I was waiting, actually on my feet one day, a bobby pin or whatever, a couple of them sprang loose and the hair came down, and I was on my feet talking, and he stopped me. And he handed a note to his associate in the Supreme Court, and it's quite a way down, and rap, and handed the note, and I'm standing there thinking, what has happened? And the associate came over and passed me this note. Bear in mind I was in the middle of addressing the court, and it said, "Madam, you are undressed."
Leaving the bar in 1977 to have a family, Judith Pearce went on to become, among other things, a Victorian Law Reform Commissioner. She has also been instrumental in lobbying the federal government to fund a successful national program of children's contact centres. After her first husband died, leaving her with 3 children, Peg Lusink studied law as a mature-age student, becoming a solicitor specialising in family law.
There was Mr. Justice Barber from the Supreme Court, who was just the greatest man. And one day he said to me, when I was of course, you'd be wise, girl, to put a wig on your head, meaning go to the bar.
Peg Lusink was at the bar just 6 months before she was appointed to the newly established Family Court of Australia as its first Victorian woman judge in 1976.
I never really loved the law, ever. And that's a terrible admission, like my mother did. Law was her life. She loved every minute of it. I loved every minute of what I was doing, and I was very fortunate that I ended up loving what I was doing, but it wasn't my total life like it was for her.
She would have been very proud of you, though, being appointed to the family court.
I don't know.
Why do you say that, Peg? Why aren't you sure?
No, she'd have been very, very pleased for me, but she was so ambitious still. She hated retirement, and she, because retirement really didn't suit her. But I'm sure she would have put a marvellous face on it. And look, I adored her, and we knew each other too well, I think. We were probably too alike or something. But it's what she would have loved so much. It would have been, in one way, I was glad she wasn't there. Do you know that? Because she would have been so. It was frightfully important to me, of course, because it was fantastic. But to her, it would have meant everything, much, much more. She really didn't do anything else, She never read a book. If she read anything, as I say, she was watching the children's house. She didn't do ordinary sort of things. And she didn't really even read law much. She didn't read a law book much. She ran on her instincts and her artistic talents.
How would you describe, Peg, your own style when it came to presiding over a courtroom? What was your style as distinct from Joan's?
Friendly, helping, talking to the people. I love talking to the people.